Welcome to the 18th week after Pentecost. It's Wednesday, September the 25th, 2024. This is the Manna at the Tap podcast, where we as a community actively seek the spiritual nourishment our souls crave. The daily lectionary reading we explore together is the Manna, designed to nurture our spiritual growth and provide the sustenance our souls need. I'm Gloria, your fellow traveler on this spiritual journey, and together we offer and receive insights and interpretations from these readings, enriching our spiritual lives. The title Ecclesiastes comes from a Greek word indicating a person who calls an assembly. Jewish and Christian traditions suggest Solomon, the son of David, king of Jerusalem, is the author and teacher of Ecclesiastes. He also authored much of Proverbs and the Song of Songs. He was considered the wisest person in his time. The book of Ecclesiastes is not easily understood. It has a spirit of hopeless despair without praise or peace. Like much of life, Ecclesiastes represents a journey from one point to another. And Solomon's starting point was vanity of vanities, all is vanity, meaning a state of emptiness. Ecclesiastes chapter 1, verse 1. The teacher wants to show the futility and foolishness of a life lived without an eternal perspective. The question is not about God's existence. The teacher has searched the depths of human experience, including despair, to find the answer. He thoroughly examined the emptiness and futility of life without eternity and finally concluded that eternity is necessary. The book of Ecclesiastes exemplifies biblical wisdom, literature, and poetry. It is honest about how the world works, and we are urged to find peace in accepting what we cannot change. Today's lectionary reading is Ecclesiastes chapter 5, verses 1 to 20. The teacher has given attention to the nature of the world, how we live in it under the sun, S-U-N, and what we pursue through work, accomplishments, and pleasure. Now, at chapter 5 of the book, a transition will take place from the vanity of life in the world to reverence for the God who made the world. We are to begin by listening. Be careful when going to the house of God. And in Solomon's time, that was the temple that he built in Jerusalem that he's talking about. Honoring God means listening a lot more and speaking a little less. This reminds us of James chapter 1, verse 19. Be quick to listen and slow to speak. God is in heaven and we are on earth, and as we humble ourselves, we can hear what God is saying. Dreams have a way of disturbing one's sleep. They can be confusing, frightening, and perplexing as the mind is filled with careless thoughts and words. The person who thinks they will be heard in prayer for their many words is foolish. A vow is a solemn promise made to God to perform or to abstain from performing a certain thing. The teacher encourages one to be conscientious when making a vow to God that they will fulfill it. Do it speedily and cheerfully, and do not defer it to a later time. Be careful of being filled with much dreaming and many words as you make a vow that you will not be able to keep. People experiencing poverty suffer much oppression because they cannot defend themselves. What is a comfortable sight in heaven is when justice and rights are not denied to the poor. God is above the earth, and his eyes are on all. The teacher will show that there is much vanity in great riches. The produce of the land supports and comforts all of humanity, but those who love money will never have enough and will never be satisfied with the wealth they have. The more they have, the more the cares and perplexities of wealth will disturb their sleep at night. When it comes time to die, one must leave their wealth all behind them. The teacher recommended that we do not hoard riches, but find satisfaction and cheerfully use what God has given. We should be generous and do good in the world during the few days of our lives. We need to appreciate the limitations of riches. One's ability to enjoy riches is genuinely a gift from God and a gift of God's grace.